Hello, welcome. My name's Spence and this is my channel and this is my first video. Today I'm going to be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the new 2020 game that was released on Friday, November the 13th, so a week ago today. Now, if you're watching me for the first time, hello. I'm guessing you probably will be watching me for the first time, given that my stream counts and viewer counts currently sit at about 13. So if you're a person that lives on planet Earth, you've probably never seen me before. I'm here today to talk about a few of my experiences and a few of my thoughts to do with the new Treyarch offering of the Call of Duty series. Like I said, these are my thoughts and opinions. These are not facts. These are just my takeouts from it. I've played the game for probably about 9 hours now, which is a decent amount of playtime. I've gone through a fair few of the weapons. I've unlocked quite a few of the attachments on most of the weapons as well. So I feel as though I have a good sort of overall view of what an average gamer, and believe me, I'm average, will be experiencing so far in this game. So anyway, I've broken it down into a few different sections. So the things I like are going to be first, because, hey, we all like to be positive if we possibly can. Things that I don't like so much, and then there's a couple of things that I absolutely hate. Once again, the caveat is, these are my thoughts and opinions. You can agree with them, you can disagree with them. It's really up to you. This is just my experience so far in the game. And yeah, hopefully either if you're looking at purchasing this game, or maybe you sort of agree, or maybe you disagree, that'd be great. Let me know and see what you think. Anyway, without further ado, I'll get into some of those thoughts and opinions, starting off with the things that I like. So, number one in the list of things that I like is the actual concept itself of the time and the setting and the period. That is a bit of a wishy-washy reason, I understand. What I mean is that I like the idea of it being set in Cold War times. I was born in the 80s, so I lived through some of this. I understand it a little bit. Some of the figures, some of the historical figures in it, such as, President Ronald Reagan, are people that I know. They're people that I've heard of before, and they're people that I've lived with as part of it. The other thing, I'm a sucker for anything retro wave and that kind of thing, so the 80s theme does kind of fit with that as well. Again, it's just something that I like. So it fits with me, and a concept and time period which I don't think's ever been done before in a video game, so that is pretty interesting. The fact that it touches on the Vietnam War is... I hate to use the word cool when it comes to the Vietnam War, because that definitely wasn't cool. But definitely as far as the time period goes, once again, it's something a little bit closer as far as in my lifetime. Didn't live for the Vietnam War, obviously, but still, it's something that, I have had an interest in over my life. So that is kind of cool to me. Number two, the gun upgrades. These look all quite logical. They do have one very good thing over Modern Warfare, which is a percentage counter as to what it will actually affect as far as the gun's efficacy and its play in game. So rather than just an arbitrary bar, it will actually now tell you, it will give you a percentage increase of what that will be, rather than you sort of having to sit there and judge what roughly that is. I haven't unlocked all the attachments. I know that they have removed things like, the grenade launchers and the breaching devices and all that sort of crap that just no one used in Modern Warfare. So they all do look mildly useful at this point in time. But again, the only guns that I've locked basically to maximum are the MP5 and the new version of the SPR-208. So in this game, it's not called the SPR-208 anymore, but it's called the Pellington 700. So that one, again, much like many sniper rifles, it's about unlocking barrels and all the rest of it, and to actually, increase its range and deadliness and all that sort of thing. So, all of those kind of things are really obvious when you actually go to do it. So the other thing to go with that as well is I really like the Black Ops version of camos. They've stuck with that kind of old theme of camos, which is really cool. I like that. It doesn't at all fit with the gritty theme of the game. A lot of the camos, including dark matter, it's just going to look stupid. Someone running around as a special operative, in 1982 with a dark matter gun, but who cares? The camos are cool. Number three, the maps and variations and the game variations that have been introduced for this game, I actually really like. So there's two in particular, which are the Combined Arms and also the VIP Escort. They're both really fun and playable. They make a fun addition to your standard, domination, team deathmatch, that sort of thing. So they're both really fun. I really like Combined Arms because it sort of cuts down from what Ground War was a little bit, which I thought was maybe just a little bit too big. That kind of rip-off of the Battlefield style of, big map domination style game. So it has made a cut-down version of that. So you no longer really need a vehicle, say, to get from, A point to F point. You can make it on foot, although if you try, you're probably going to die in the middle. So it is like just a large version of domination. So it brings things like sniping and that kind of thing into the game, which makes it a lot more variable. It does have vehicles in it as well. I've not really felt the need to use the vehicles either on the water ones or on the land ones, but it's up to you. The vehicles are there to play with if you so wish. That number 4 I like about the game is the sound. Now, a lot of people I've heard complaining about the sound in Modern Warfare, that, the footsteps aren't distinguishable, that kind of thing. They've really taken that out of the game. Well, if you want sound and footsteps, then go buy a copy of Black Ops, because it sounds like you're running around with bricks and dog toys tied to your feet. If you can't hear someone coming in this game, you probably need to go to some sort of hearing institute. They are loud. To the point where you're running around and it's kind of annoying, your own footsteps. It's like, dude, can you not run any slower than this? Or can you not run with some, not flat feet? There is a upgrade that launches at, I believe, level 38. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong, which is a ninja mode, which is basically like a constant version of dead silence. It isn't dead silence, as in you don't just float across the ground like you do in Modern Warfare. You still make a little bit of a noise, but not so much that you'd actually notice. So that's actually pretty cool. Number 5, getting rid of tactical sprint. I don't really like tactical sprint. I don't really see a reason why you need to have 2 different variations of running. It seems kind of pointless to me. I know some people may disagree with me, some people may agree, but I just didn't really think it was a useful thing. It just constant mouse clicking to go back and forward in types of sprinting. It's harder to aim from. Just run or walk. I don't know. Like, that's just me personally. So they've got rid of that anyway, and I just happen to like that. Moving on from there, number 1 of the things that I kind of love and kind of don't hate, but, still not really loving them. So one thing I think that will be popular is sniping is harder. I've seen a couple of videos that people have made saying that sniping is going to be easy and that quick scoping is easy and all that sort of thing. Maybe I'm just a really shitty sniper, but I don't see it. I think that sniping is way more difficult. Aiming up, and I think probably the easiest way to tell that is just judge how many people are running around with sniper rifles as their main weapons in the game. And compared to current rounds of Modern Warfare, where a lot of people are running around with SPR 208s and Kar 98s, it's not the same. A lot of people are not using those, and the AR and the SMG seem to be the most popular class. So I think a lot of people will be glad that average snipers like me are no longer able to actually compete in a game while playing with sniper rifles. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed being a crappy sniper and being able to play with a sniper rifle, but with this game, those days at this point appear to be numbered. One thing, it isn't on the fence for me, that I just flat out hate: jump shotting. Just dumb. Lose it. Terrible. Woeful. Useless. It's just annoying. I don't know. I understand that this game is, and this is sort of moving on into point 3 here as well. I understand that this game has to be tuned for next-gen consoles. I'm not an idiot. I understand that. Obviously, the PS5 and the Xbox launched on the same day or the day before this game was released. So it would be stupid of Treyarch and Activision to make a game that wasn't somewhat tailored towards that. But to make jumping just such a big part of the game, annoying. It's got to have something done about it. So I'm not advocating to go back to the days of Counter-Strike when you literally had to be standing still to take a shot, but the jump shotting is just irritating. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not a jump shotter or a drop shotter, and the more you bring that into the game, it's not for me. I don't like it. Now, number 4 of things that I don't like / I'm on the fence about. This is now getting more in towards the things I just don't like. The score streaks suck. They are not good. Now, the score streaks themselves are fine. They're not that different to what we remember or what we've been playing with recently with Modern Warfare. They've got chopper gunners. They've got variations of VTOLs. They've got all these different things. They've got napalm, which is kind of cool. They've got an artillery strike, which is great. Some of them are ridiculously OP. That's fine. Like, there was OP chopper gunners in Black Ops 4, and that was just, you saw a chopper gunner coming and you went, wow, this guy's obviously really tearing it up. Now, you don't have to get a score streak to get a score streak. You just have to build up a certain amount of points over a game. So you can die every second life. That's fine. As long as you're racking up points, you're going to get your score streaks whether you like it or not. And I hate that. I just hate it. It means that average players are getting the same advantage to score streaks that people that are actually getting 11 kills in a row. So getting a chopper gunner, if you're okay at the game, you will get a chopper gunner every game. And it just makes for them, the score streaks are just now completely devalued. The other thing as well is that the last probably 20% of every game, and I'm talking particularly bigger game modes here like Domination, and also the game mode I was mentioning before, those are ruined by score streaks because everybody at the same time, with the exception of the really good players, starts getting their score streaks at the same time. So you have a probably 6-minute period at the end of a game where there's just constantly some kind of chopper gunner in the air or some kind of plane or there's explosions going off. So you can forget everything about the footsteps and that kind of thing being good because you can't hear anything other than explosions. And it just ruins the point of score streaks. I don't understand why they had to do this. I get to a point that they have to make it so average players can hit score streaks easier, and you know, I get what they're getting at here, but at the same time, it ruins how fun it was getting your first chopper gunner or something like that when you're playing old Black Ops games. It really does. So that isn't great. Number 6, now is the freebie landmines. Annoying. They shouldn't be a field upgrade. I don't understand why they're a field upgrade. It makes no sense. None of the other field upgrades are lethals. It recharges quite quickly, and you get a new one every time you're alive. So if you die 15 times in a game, you're throwing out 15 landmines. It's just pointless. None of the other field upgrades are actually lethals. So you're running around and you're dying to people that, again, are dying a lot. It, once again, sort of doesn't really add up. That and the fact that the standard loadout comes with 2 explosive devices as well, and if you leave it alone, it comes with 2 of your flash grenades. So you're running around with literally 5 external things other than the gun. There's one thing this game doesn't need, it's more explosions, believe me. So that is annoying, and I'd really like that to not be a thing moving forward in patches. The last thing that I don't like about the game, and this is something that I think a lot of people have agreed with me about, from the people that I watch on YouTube, everyone from, you know, people that are actually famous, like, you know, Jay God and Nick Merckx, you know, these kinds of guys, that It's Nick, you know, all these kind of players. The guns and the simplification of the animation of them and the mechanics of them, it's cheap. It looks as though, I don't know, someone that programmed it just read what guns did in a book and maybe watched some YouTube videos about it, and then they kind of went, okay, I'm ready to program this now. The Modern Warfare guns are awesome. They look like guns, they sound like guns. I've shot some guns in my life, some automatic, some semi-automatic, and they look like guns feel. The guns in Cold War look like they're a cartoon. They look like they're from SpongeBob. Let's face it, they're not good. They don't sound like guns, they don't act like guns, they don't recoil like guns, and I know I'm saying guns a lot, but guns. That's all the game's about, is shooting people. So if the guns aren't great, and the animations and the mechanics aren't great, I don't think that's something you can change. That's something just in the integral framework of the game that isn't going anywhere. So that is a little bit disappointing. I was hoping that they would either carry that across from Modern Warfare, or they would maybe build upon it and make it more realistic and more cool. Everything else about the game is actually more realistic. So say, for example, now you don't have ridiculous things like, different little sticky bits you put on the guns. It's literally just a piece of tape that goes around the gun and does something. So all that kind of stuff is more true to life and more realistic of what, a sniper would maybe be doing in real life in 1983. But the actual look of them, no. It looks like they maybe left that to the last minute, and then that was kind of, they just went, we need to release the game, what we got is what we got. So that is a little bit disappointing, as I was hoping that was actually going to improve from Modern Warfare. Lastly, I do understand that Black Ops games in the past have not been the realistic ones. The Treyarch games, going back to say Black Ops 3, where you could wall run and things like that, I didn't hate that. It wasn't pretending to be anything that it wasn't. It was just a fun game, and everything in it was kind of tailored towards that. Like the camos all have, the ridiculous, animations on them and all that kind of stuff. I get it. That's actually fun. But in this, they're not doing that. They're kind of making a true-to-life game about real-world events with real-world people in it. And to make it so it's kind of colourful and a bit cartoony, a version of that, I don't really understand why you needed to burn a moment in history to make that. You could have waited till the next Modern Warfare game if you were going to do that, if you know what I mean. So that is a little bit disappointing, but yeah, like I said, just to close, overall, I do like the game. I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for people to warm up to this over Modern Warfare, and that's not because this is a shit game. That is because Modern Warfare was, and still is, a really good game. So that's just going to take time, unfortunately. People are going to keep playing Modern Warfare for two reasons. Number one, it's good, and number two, Warzone. Simple fact. So that's it. Lastly, there is one very important thing that I want to add to the end of this, which people may be wondering. Warzone in this game is not NOT changing at all. So the Warzone that you click on if you buy this game and installs it will be the same engine and take you back to literally the same game that you were playing on Modern Warfare. There are zero changes at this point in time. So there are no weapons across at the moment or anything like that. The plan is that the Season 1 pass is going to introduce the Cold War weapons into Warzone. Their mechanics and that sort of thing, I think that's fine. I don't know. I'm not a massive Warzone player. I don't know how people think and feel about that. Warzone's a free game anyway at this point in time. So if you like playing Warzone with the current set of guns, I don't really see a lot of reason to go and mess with it for no reason at all, just to simply introduce a new game when they really clearly don't have the engine ready for it. So Warzone, hold for the moment when it comes to new maps, etc. for that. It is what it is at the moment, and just keep enjoying it. Anyway, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've actually managed to make it to the end, we'll see if anyone actually makes it to the end. But I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do have any feedback, please leave it below. Even if it's comments telling me to go and kill myself, that's fine. It means that somebody watched it. But anyway, have a great day. Enjoy the game, and thank you very much. Peace.